Sometimes the most memorable moments in a leader's life do not occur in meetings or on the world stage. They occur down the middle of a typical street, when the past confronts them. It was a scorching afternoon in Ouagadougou, the busy capital city of Burkina Faso. President Ibrahim Traoré Reunites had just finished an impromptu visit to one of the nearby schools. His motorcade stood at the curb, engines revving in the sun, when he spotted something out of the corner of his eye. There, leaning against a weathered, sun-parched wall, was a man with a tin cup placed before him. Tattered, dirty clothes and even streaks of gray streaked peppered his hair. Sunken eyes spoke silently of years of hardship. People passed by without even looking his way. He was invisible to them. But not to Ibrahim. His brow was wrinkled. Why? Why does he look familiar? Without a moment's hesitation, he instructed his security, "Wait here." The tone in his voice forbade dispute. The man gazed upward, squinting against the glare of sunlight. His lips quivered before opening in shock. Ibrahim, his voice broke. The president's chest constricted. Musa. Yes, it was him, a man once full of life and dreams, now barely a shadow of his former self. Musa tried to stand, legs trembling. "It is really you," he breathed. "It is me," Ibrahim said, putting a firm grip on his friend's shoulder. "What happened to you?" Tears pricked at Musa's eyes, quickly swished away. "It is a long story, not one I ever thought to tell you, especially not like this. Come with me, we'll talk." Musa hesitated, glancing down at his bare, calloused feet. "I can't. Not like this. I'm not fit to enter your car. You're my friend. That's what matters." Ibrahim's voice was steady, leaving no room for refusal. Several minutes later, Musa was sitting in the presidential house. He had bathed, put on clean clothes, and now sat staring at a laden table of steaming food. He ate slowly, nearly warily, as if the food would vanish if he consumed it too rapidly. Gratitude flashed in his eyes, but so did shame. When the dishes were removed, Ibrahim filled 2 glasses with juice and sat down facing him. "Now," he said quietly, "spill it. You were one of the smartest men I knew. What went wrong?" Musa's eyes dropped to the glass in front of him. He sighed. "It began 3 years ago," he started. He narrated his life as a well-respected school head in Bobo Dioulasso, how he had managed to save and construct a small house and get married to a lady called Stella. "At first we were happy, or at least I believed so. But gradually she drifted away, always glued to her phone, prone to snap over the most minute issues. I attributed it to stress. I played down the warning signs." His voice cracked. "One afternoon, I returned home early and found her, in our bed with another man." Ibrahim's jaw clenched. "What did you do?" "I walked out," Musa whispered. "I couldn't fight. I was shaking. She didn't even apologize. She walked out behind me and said it was over, that I should leave my own house because he was the one she loved now." Ibrahim's eyes glinted. "Leave the house you worked with your own hands?" "Yes," Musa replied bitterly. "I refused. But she sued me, lied that she had paid for the house, even produced forged documents. The judge believed her. I was ousted." "What about your job?" "I lost that too. All of my savings went towards paying attorneys. Before long, I had nothing. No place to live, no job, no dignity. I was living with a friend for a time. But shame forced me out. Eventually I was sleeping beneath bridges, rummaging for scraps, having dinner once a day if I was lucky, and whenever I closed my eyes, I saw her laughing with him. His head sagged, tears streaming down his cheeks. I was a shadow, Ibrahim. I wished I'd die. I really wished I'd die." President Ibrahim Traoré stood up slowly from his chair, his voice firm, but weighed down with. Ibrahim's voice was calm, but his words had a profound warmth. "Musa, you didn't deserve any of this, but I swear to you, your story will be changed." Musa raised his eyes slowly. "You still treat me as your friend, even after seeing me like this?" "I never did," Ibrahim said gently, his eyes unflinching. That evening, Musa slept peacefully for the first time in years. No harsh streetlights glaring above, no hard pavement under his feet, just the quiet security of safety, in a different room. Ibrahim sat at his desk. Papers in front of him were untouched. His thoughts weren't on state affairs, but on the man who had stood in his corner in school, sharing books, standing up to bullies, and encouraging him to dream bigger. He gripped his pen with quiet resolve. I'll give him a fresh start. The next morning, the scent of warm bread and fried eggs woke Musa. Clean sheets brushed against his skin, a stark contrast to the rough blankets he'd known for years. A gentle knock sounded at the door. Come in, Musa said. A staff member stepped in with a tray. Good morning, sir. The president asked me to serve you. Musa slowly spun around, still not believing it. Thank you, really. While eating, one idea kept repeating in his head. Yesterday I was a beggar. Today I am a guest in the presidential mansion. What about tomorrow? Later, in the palace garden, Ibrahim came in humble attire, his demeanor serene but authoritative. So your tale got me down, Ibrahim said softly. I did not want to bring trouble into your home, Musa whispered. You didn't cause trouble, Ibrahim answered immediately. You brought truth, and truth leads to action. Action, Musa queried uncertainly. I've arranged for things, Ibrahim explained. Today morning, you'll see a doctor. Then there is something I want to show you. By the time the afternoon sun was high in the sky, Musa had been medicated, administered medicine, and even got his first haircut in years. The man in the mirror was no longer the broken man by the roadside. There was a glimmer of life in his eyes once again. Ibrahim took him to the edge of the city and stopped before a small cream and brown house with a neat garden. It is lovely, Musa spoke softly. Whose home is it? It is yours, said Ibrahim with a smile. Musa's voice trembled. Ibrahim, it is too much. It is all paid for. No one can take it away from you. Ibrahim comforted him. Why would you do this for me? Musa breathed. Because I recall who you are, Ibrahim replied, his eyes shining. You lent me books when I had no books. You stood up for me when I was isolated. You believed in me before I believed in myself. Musa shook his head, overwhelmed. I only did what friends do. And now, Ibrahim said, resting a firm hand on his shoulder, I'm doing the same. Inside, the home was warm and welcoming. A cozy living room, a clean kitchen, a bright bedroom, even a small office with a desk and bookshelf. I've also started a bookstore and school stationery shop for you, Ibrahim continued. It is next to a secondary school. I know how you feel about education. Let's utilize it. Musa's hand shook. For the first time in years, his tears were not tears of pain, but hope. The next several weeks saw a transformation in his life. He operated the store with care and discipline. Students visited him each day for pens, notebooks, and textbooks. Some lingered to consult him on their studies. You can't memorize, he said to one boy, gesturing toward a math problem. Learn the steps, and the answer will take care of itself. Word traveled fast. The community started welcoming him again, not as a beggar, but as Mr. Musa. Musa's name in the neighborhood had spread from the bottom up. His store wasn't simply a store anymore. It was a refuge for students, a corner of hope. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon, and he was stacking books on a shelf when a gentle voice behind him said, Musa. He spun around and almost dropped the book he held. It was Stella, his ex-wife, standing in the doorway. Her face was white, her clothes simple, her jewelry missing. At her feet was a small, tattered suitcase. May I speak with you? She whispered. Musa crossed his arms. Outside the store. They went outside into the sunlight. What do you want, Stella? He said calmly. Tears pricked at the corners of her eyes. I have no place to go. He left me, the man I preferred you over. He sold our home, drained my account, and escaped with another woman. I've lost everything. She gulped hard. I am sorry about what has happened, and I am wondering if I can stay, just temporarily. She stood in a quiet agony, remembering how she'd walked away without once looking back, leaving him in pieces. Stella, he replied finally, his voice firm. I forgave you a very long time ago, but I've moved on. My life is now at peace. You took your path and I've taken mine. Her head bowed in shame. Please, even just a room. I wish you well, Musa declared firmly, but this is not your home. Without further comment, he turned and strode back into the shop, his chest pounding. That evening, Musa phoned Ibrahim. She returned. He stated briefly, and asked Ibrahim. I said no. On the other end of the line, Ibrahim's smile was almost sound. I am proud of you. You did not just give me a business and a home, Musa explained. You restored my dignity. That night, Musa picked up the phone and called Ibrahim. I think I've met someone, he said. Ibrahim chuckled. Musa, the lover boy. Then don't let that light go, Ibrahim replied warmly. You deserve joy. Musa took his time, letting the friendship with Grace grow naturally. Her daughter, Rachel, soon became a regular at the shop, arranging books, chatting with customers, and curling up in the reading corner Musa had built just for her. He treated her like his own child, teaching, encouraging, and always listening. Afternoon sunlight streaming through the windows, Musa asked Grace and Rachel to a serene garden. On bended knees with a little ring between his fingers, he pronounced, I don't have much to offer, but I have peace, respect, and love. Will you marry me? Grace's eyes welled up with tears. Yes, Musa, 1,000 times, yes. Rachel squealed in joy, embracing them both. Their marriage was small but sweet. Neighbors, friends, and President Ibrahim Traoré attended to celebrate. When the ceremony was over, Ibrahim took Musa aside. You appear to be a man who has found peace, he said. I have, Musa said briefly. You discovered it, Ibrahim said, putting a hand on his friend's shoulder. Because you never lost hope. Months after, Musa's life was complete. A doting wife, a daughter who loved him, a successful enterprise, and a house where there is much laughter. But he did not rest on his laurels. He established the Musa Foundation to assist men who had lost their shirts, opening a shelter that provided training and small business assistance. I used to be on that street, Musa said to the first group of men. My one friend altered my past. Now I wish to alter yours. In a different part of town, Stella ate by herself in a rented apartment. She had phoned Musa countless times, but he never picked up. She even visited his store, only to find a scribbled note, closed for this week due to family matters. See you next week. In the window was a picture, Musa and Grace clasping hands, Rachel beaming between them. Stella's eyes went dim. She had once had everything, and she had lost it. Now Musa had the life she had not treasured. Grudgingly, she turned away from the shop and strolled down the dusty street, her pockets full of nothing but regret. That night, Musa sat with Grace on the porch, holding a warm cup of tea. The air was calm, and diamonds of stars dotted the black sky. Do you think your ex-wife regrets it now? Grace whispered. Musa gazed up at the stars before speaking. Perhaps, but that is not my concern anymore. Grace took his hand. Let's keep writing new chapters, she whispered. He smiled, tightening his grip on her fingers. Beautiful ones. Musa's existence was now more than a personal triumph. It was a living testament, from huddling in the streets at night to being a successful businessman, loving spouse, and dedicated father. His testimony gave hope to millions of others. The Musa Foundation had already restored the lives of more than 50 men. Some became mechanics. Some established shops, barber stands, or eating stalls. But they were all alike in one way. They believed once more, for Musa had believed in them first. One afternoon, President Ibrahim Traoré phoned. "I want you to give a speech at the National Youth Conference," he said. "Your story must be shared." When Musa's name was called, he stepped onto the stage in a tidy gray suit, holding his head high. The applause was dignified but warm. Having adjusted the microphone, he began. "I was a man who lost everything. Not because I was lazy or foolish, but because I trusted the wrong person." He paused, his gaze sweeping round the audience. "My wife and her lovers stole all from me. I was thrown out, ridiculed, and left with nothing but shame. But one sweltering afternoon," Musa went on, "as I sat famished on the street, a man I had assisted discovered me. He looked over at the front row, where Ibrahim was seated. That man did not pity me. He did not walk past me. He picked me up and showed me that things can be remade beautiful again when they are broken." The room was quiet. Then Musa smiled. "Today I am not angry. The best revenge is peace, joy, and moving forward. No matter how bad it gets, your story can change, if you don't give up." The crowd stood up, cheering filled the air. That evening, in the garden once again, Rachel tossed with their puppy while Musa and Grace sat next to each other. "Do you still think about her?" Grace asked. "Not in anger," Musa replied. "I just wonder how a person can cast aside gold and collect sand." Grace chuckled quietly. "She lost a good man," Musa said, smiling at her, "and I gained a queen." Far away, Stella worked in a small restaurant. The man she had left Musa for had spent her money and left her with debts. The house she had taken from him no longer existed. She had even attempted to kill herself once, but lived. She scrolled through Musa's photos on the internet sometimes. Interviews, smiling photos of family and holidays, times of happiness. Each picture cut her deep. The man she believed would be nothing without her had become so much more than she ever dreamed. Without her, a year hence, Musa was invited to the presidential palace for dinner. Later in the garden, Ibrahim presented him with a small box. "What is this?" Musa asked. "For your work with the Musa Foundation," Ibrahim replied, grinning. A golden medal lay inside. Musa embraced his friend tightly. "You didn't only change my life, you gave me the opportunity to change others' lives as well. That is the power," Ibrahim said, "of a hand raised in compassion." As the evening wind swept through the garden, Musa gazed up at the stars. "Who would have believed," he whispered, "that the man with nothing would ever have more than he ever imagined?" His eyes gleamed, not with sorrow but with happiness. The past was behind them. The future shone bright, and this time, nobody could take it away, because no matter where you've been, one act of kindness can be the start of something new, and the decision to rise is always yours. Closing CTA. If this story touched your heart, click that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs hope today. Thank you for watching.